So I've gotten some feedback from people on whether I should do Patreons or OnlyFans. And I spent the weekend investigating OnlyFans a little further. And I'm going to tell you the pros and cons of both that I've seen. Primarily, Patreon I think is good for people who have an established product. Even if their product is something specific. Because I have some, let's say like astrologers or something that I like to see what their horoscope information is for the month. But they have an established thing that they offer people. And with Patreon, it's really strict as far as establishing an amount that you want to charge, a tier, and you need to have something really clear and specific that you're offering that's consistent. And OnlyFans was built not to be a pornographic site. It was they just allow more freedom with sexual expression on there, and anything pornographic is not my area of interest. But it's primarily services. It focuses more and caters more to those people who have a service to offer, which is probably why I'm more tempted. And the way that it works is allows for a lot more fluidity. It's strict as far as you have to have a photo ID to have an account. They have to verify your identity, which is great, so you're a lot safer there. I had somebody ask if I attract more women or men with my specific message, and yes, more women. My message is more for women, but women that are trying to heal themselves and their sexuality. What's interesting is I actually have women talk about sex and their sexuality, and they're more interested in talking about that and engaging in that topic than men are. But the men that do bring up the topic or have questions are always really respectful, regardless what platform it's been on. And I think that's because I do a good job of having clear boundaries as far as what it is we're going to discuss and how far I'm willing to go in that discussion. So part of me wonders if I should do Patreon for a few months and OnlyFans and have the same content on both with the same pricing and just kind of see which gains the most traction. The problem is I have the hardest time navigating Patreon. It is so rigid, and like I was looking into how you can get merchandise, and then I saw that you have to charge a certain amount to qualify for merchandise, so I didn't sign up, but apparently just me looking at it signed me up somehow. I must have clicked something wrong, I don't know. So now, even though they say that you have to have a tier that's at least $20 to sign up for this certain type of merchandise level, which I don't have any tiers that are that expensive, so I wouldn't have signed up. It still signed me up for it. And then I asked them how to, and it's telling me I have to delete everything in order to sign up for merchandise, which I have not connected to any of my tiers and I have not used. And nobody can seem to help me. They just tell me to do things I've already tried doing. And I'm sending screenshots saying, no, that's not what the pop-up says. Like, the whole thing has me so frustrated. And OnlyFans is just so much easier to navigate. I can have a free page that has all of like my general information and stuff that I share all the time anyway. And then if people want to dive deeper, or they want a conclusion to something, or they want certain images, art, they want to share something of theirs maybe with me and have a discussion about it, then I would redirect them to the paid OnlyFans. That way people would get a sense of who I am and what my message is without it being too convoluted and misunderstood by anyone. Anyone who I would want to work with in the future professionally would know that I'm not on there doing pornographic things. That's not what OnlyFans was established for. It was established for creatives that have a service. Some of the most popular things, especially when it started, were like cooking DIYs and stuff. But because it allows the freedom of expression more than any other site does, unless you know of one, please share it with me. that's why. And then with COVID and quarantine, of course, people had to think of what was easiest to sell. um, and safe, because it's pretty, for what it is, that's pretty safe, especially with all the screening that they do when you get an account. But and you can still remain anonymous. You can remain anonymous on OnlyFans. OnlyFans, the server is going to know who you are in the background, but the person you're signing up for, you can have total anonymity, which is also a benefit, because some people want to talk about things, but they don't want you to figure out who they are, because a lot of times I figure out who the person is. So there's drawbacks, good things and bad things about both. But again, I think Patreon's good for people who have it figured out. They know what it is that they're offering. It's established. It's not as much of a service as much as it is a product, even if the product is a specific online service. And I'm going to take responsibility and say, yes, I have not been consistent on either one, but Patreon has made it really difficult for me to be consistent because of the way it's set up. It's just so hard for me to navigate with what it is specifically that I do. And is that an excuse? Maybe, but I'm trying to be more consistent on social media platforms, challenge myself at least for the next month to see how much of this is on me and how much of it is the sites that I'm using. So if I do, I have set up an OnlyFans. I haven't put content on it yet, and I'll have it probably. And they let you have promotions. They let you offer free things. They let you. They figure out who your top followers are, so that you can give them special promotions. You can engage with people easier. It's less because people are really hesitant to comment or send messages on Patreon too. It's not very engaging, and I don't know what the hesitation is there. Maybe because it's more of a low-key creative environment, it's just not attracting people that feel comfortable going there. I don't know. I get more engagement on YouTube, but again, the anonymity is there on YouTube. So, and Patreon, it's not as easy to be anonymous there. So these are the things I'm bouncing around. I had a few messages, so this is specifically, and those messages help me figure out, like nail down what it is I'm conflicted about and why I'm going back and forth. I just really don't want people to think I'm going on there for porn, because that is so not the intention. But I think with the free account and then having that direct to the paid stuff, I think that would make everything I'm doing really clear, which is what I'm most concerned about as far as OnlyFans is concerned. But anyway, Mars and Mercury are both retrograde, and I know better than to make any rash decisions, especially when I'm frustrated, which I'm very frustrated with Patreon right now. So I'm not going to make any rash decisions at the moment. I'm going to continue to play and experiment, and mostly just challenge myself to be consistent. So if you have ideas on things you would like to see or hear more about, I'm still very open to hearing that from you, and I appreciate your guys' feedback. Y'all are great supporters, and I'll talk to you soon. Mwah.